Hang in there. It
that Smylie Kaufman for 61. Wow.
I'm Smylie Kaufman, and this is The Smylie Show.
All right, today we are joined by Brad Dalke, national champion, elite amateur standout, former Oklahoma Sooner, and now one of the breakout stars of the YouTube golf world, representing good golf. Brad, are you tired of talking about this win at the Internet Invitational? Because some people are calling it the fifth major. There's always that conversation, Brad, and I'm here for it if you're here to stand on that hill.
I mean, I have yet to hear that. I think you might be the only one that's heard that. But
well, the Shriner's open too, by the way.
Exactly, yeah. So I will take whatever I can get. Thanks for having me on, Smylie. I really appreciate it, and I've been excited for this one. But no, it's been a fun last week or so. Obviously, I've known about the win for a while, and we obviously have NDAs and all that, so I couldn't really go open my loud mouth about anything. I had to keep things pretty quiet, and but it's cool that it's finally out now, and I can, be open about it and have fun with it. So it's been fun doing all these, podcasts and interviews and all that, and just trying to soak it up while I can, because I mean, as you know, when you win something and, there's a little bit of, hoopla around it for a little bit, but then it's right back on to the next thing. So
sure.
It's been fun, but yeah, it's been exciting.
Have you ever signed an NDA before? I've never read fine print on an NDA, nor do I think I've ever signed one. But does it say on the NDA of like, okay, I can at least tell my wife I married last year, or is that not included? How does this work?
So I did tell Abby. She did know, and she didn't say anything, obviously, to anyone. So I think it was pretty much unspoken. I even heard some of the Barstool guys saying like, yeah, obviously, we're going to tell our wives and all that. So,
sure.
But yeah, the NDA, I think it's the first one I've ever signed as well. And obviously it's
probably a good thing.
Weird. It's weird to win something and, not be able to just tell everyone right away. But I did tell my wife, and obviously she kept her mouth shut, and we both did a good job of keeping the secret. And that's something you can't really keep away from your wife, I feel like, but
I wouldn't be able to, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Unless you just, kind of start adding extra guac to all your stuff at Chipotle. Yeah. Maybe you go down the street. It's like, honey, let's join that club, or let's go get that car. I think she might have a
really good on you. Yeah,
that's right. She might have a bit of an inclination if those habits started to change a little bit.
Exactly. She's been great about it, and it's been fun to be able to celebrate with her too, especially with her friends and all that. Finally getting to know. We both had a good time this last week or so.
Well, it's interesting about the Internet Invitational is that, there's been a lot of different things that have been tried in the YouTube golf space, whether it be, PGA Tour or Live, trying to grab this YouTube golf audience and create something compelling. But this seems to have absolutely kicked the doors down of what I imagine to be one of the best events on YouTube. And for those of you listening to this episode, we're not going to talk entirely about the Internet Invitational. I really want to speak mostly about Brad's career up until this point, but it'd be silly to not talk about the gratitude of what this event really was, which was just insanity. When did you guys get the call about the event, and how did they decide who was going to be playing? Pretty much, I guess, picking the lineups for who got in. But I imagine when you got the text, you had to be pretty excited about it.
Yeah, so obviously it kind of started off, I think it was a little over a year ago. Portnoy came out. I think it was on a podcast or something with the Foreplay guys, and Portnoy was like, "Hey, if I put up $1 million, for a tournament, like how would that do on YouTube?" And everyone was like, "Oh, it'd be fantastic." And he kind of got the ball rolling on that. Then all of a sudden, a few months later, it's announced like, "Hey, it's actually happening. It's going to happen." Barstool's hosting it with Bob Does Sports, and I was pumped. I didn't know if I was for sure going to get the invite. Obviously, being a part of Good and one of the better golfers on YouTube, I was hopeful I'd get the invite, but I didn't know which direction they were going to go. I didn't know if they were going to go more, kind of have a mixture of everybody, or maybe more comedic, higher handicaps, or maybe more the, higher caliber YouTube players. I just had no idea. I was not expecting an invite, but Bob texted me, I guess right before I got the invite, and he said, "Hey, dude, your invite's in the mail. You're going to be at the Internet Invitational." And obviously, I was very thankful for that, and love Bob to death. Bob is the funniest human on this
Dude,
earth.
he's unbelievable.
He's the funniest person I've ever met. He's the type of guy you can just watch him live life for like 30 minutes, and you could just laugh at everything he's doing. It's awesome. But
I get to laugh at Bob like once a day. Like just something pops up where whether it's Bob making a hole in one at PGA National or him, at the place where he's getting a yogurt bowl or whatever he gets, it's just, or a bad haircut. The guy is just a human highlight reel.
That's a tough one. But no, Bob's the best. And he sent me that text that I was invited, and obviously I was stoked for that. And then going into the event, no one knew what the format was going to be. I mean, they kind of mentioned it in the first episode of the video. Is they were saying how we've kept it a secret for a reason. Nobody had any idea. I thought it'd be a little more like a Squid Gamey type thing where 48 people. Here's an 80-yard shot. If you hit the green, you advance. If you miss, you're out. I thought it was gonna be a little more like that in a way, but I think they killed the format. It made it perfectly to where at the end in the finale, you can see how a higher caliber player like me and how a 12 handicap handles $1 million pressure. Like it really gave a great just a view of how different handicaps, how different golfers handle that much pressure. And, the fact that someone like Frankie or Beef or Francis had putts and shots that really mattered in $1 million match. It was crazy. So I think they killed the format, and I'm really glad they didn't do like the handicap route. I think that could have been very dicey, obviously.
There was enough controversy that we didn't need a handicap.
Like that would have been ridiculous if $1 million was on the line. So I'm glad they stayed away from that, but I think they did great with the format, did great with the editing, and it was just an unbelievable event.
Do the New York Jets need to either call Bob or Riggs for their excellent drafting, or do you think they both did an okay job? Who would you give the lean there for best draft?
I think Riggs definitely did a great job drafting. Even the second, so I was on his team the first match and we won. I think he did a great job drafting. Even on the second match, I think he did a great job until the afternoon matches. I think he had a couple falters on the pairings, and it kind of gets, we had to make a big comeback in that second round.
Oh, really?
To get through. Yeah. We were down, wow, what was it? It was 6 matches. We were down 4-2, I think, out of the 6 matches. And as obviously, if you got to 6.5, you clinched going into the finals. And so they didn't have to do a whole lot in that afternoon. And we made a huge comeback, and he made a couple key mistakes, I think, in the pairings that helped us. It really allowed us to have a chance in alternate shot. So I think that was really his only hiccup, but he was a great captain. I think, I don't watch it, but the Riders Cup, like the Barstool team event I was in the company, I think he won that too. Like he was captain of that team. So
good drafter. Noted.
I think good drafter, good captain. Yeah.
Well done. Yeah. Well done to Foreplay and Bob Does Sports. Obviously an incredible event they put on. Still just continues to populate my feed every single day. There's a new clip I haven't seen, or actually it's probably been good for the soul just to watch somebody else struggle in the heat of the moment, watching that ball just hum across the green. Poor Frankie. I know he had a lot of heart and he wanted it the most, but that boy needed to have a 3-wood in his hands or a putter in that moment, or a little 4-iron. But hitting a little chip shot there was definitely a little questionable.
Yeah, gosh, I love Frankie too. That dude, he's such a nice guy. We've done some filming with Foreplay and got to know him through that, and he's just a great dude, fun to be around. He's in his own head so much on the golf course. He's one of those, you just watch him and you just feel kind of bad for him. The fact that,
you don't need to talk any ish. He's going to do it himself. Like he's going to totally beat himself up.
And it's like one of the, like we've all been there. We all have.
Oh gosh. Have we?
It's for him. It's just, you can really tell. And I just felt bad for him. And obviously in the moment, like, I don't want to say I loved it, but like that's, we needed that to help get us the win. But, man, looking back at those clips, I feel bad for him because he's a great dude, but it just wasn't his day, or wasn't his chip shot on that one.
Well, I know they're probably going to have another Internet Invitational, so you get to show up with, what was it, a pink jacket that they had for the winners? So
jacket, yep.
You should have worn that on here, by the way. Should have worn the pink jacket.
Grab it right now if you want me to.
Yeah, let's go get the pink jacket.
I'll be back.
He's back. Does it fit?
It does. It fits really well, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I should have worn this at the start of the interview. What was I doing?
There's a pretty important event in Augusta where they give a green jacket out and the winner gets to pick a champion's dinner. I assume that'll be the case for next year's Internet Invitational. So while you're sitting there in your nice salmon jacket, let's go with salmon. Will salmon be on the menu? What's the potential for what the champion's dinner will be at the Internet Invitational? Why don't you just give me your rundown here?
I mean,
you got to go beef, right? In honor?
Yeah. I mean, yes. And I am straight up. I mean, I'm an Oklahoma guy, steak and potatoes guy. I think just a good ribeye with some mashed potatoes, maybe some, asparagus, just like a nice, just simple steak and potatoes, a little asparagus on the side. Dessert, maybe we'll let Francis pick the dessert.
Francis's whole thing is like the crazy things that he eats in the office. He's not going to go for steak and potatoes. It's going to be. I've seen him eat a whole hog at his table. I think a seafood tower. He's not going to let you just go steak and potatoes. So maybe you let him do the apps and just let him go all in on that, and then dessert. Just what about dessert?
See, if it was my choice, it'd be a cheesecake. Okay. I'm a cheesecake guy, but I think that's a good idea. I'll let Francis get the apps down. I'll let him get the dessert, and then I can just main course steak and potatoes. Not many people disagree with steak and potatoes, so I think that's a smart move. A good ribeye. It has to be ribeye though.
And it's some nice. I mean, you got that, but I mean, dude. Kwon might not wake up until 2 p.m. if you wine him and dine him like this, man. Hey, will he get invited next year, you think?
I mean, I think he will.
For content purposes, you have to have him
for the drama. I mean, that's already a storyline before the week even starts. Like, will Kwon wake up for his first round tee time this year? I mean, I think
I don't know, Luke, but was that surprising at all?
It was and it wasn't. So Kwon, we were teammates at OU. Actually, he was a senior when I was a freshman.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he played at Oklahoma.
So we know each other for a long time. Obviously, in college, there's obviously that freshman senior dynamic where we were teammates and we hung out a lot, but we weren't super close. He was kind of the older guy on the team, and but he's always liked to sleep. I will say that he's always liked to sleep. He's always he's the type of guy who if he goes to sleep without an alarm, he could sleep for hours and hours. But I was surprised. He does travel a lot. He goes all over the world. Mm-hmm. So his sleep schedule is probably very messed up. But at the same time, it's a 9:30 tee time. His cabin was 100 yards from the first tee.
What are y'all doing as teammates? Not letting just as nobody. It's just too many people.
Well, he was on the other team, which it felt like he was my teammate. On that day.
Yeah, he was helping you out. That's for sure.
MVP that round. I don't know what I mean. So I guess like Mason Nutt, who's one of the Busted Jack guys, he was rooming with him, not in the same room, but at the same cottage. But I guess he went there. He went early for breakfast, like 2.5 hours before his tee time, and it was like 3 hours from Kwon's tee time or something like that. So I think he just assumed Kwon was just going to wake up, which that's not a bad assumption for 9:30.
You would think, right?
You think. And I guess once it was like 30 minutes out, I feel like someone should have, realized like, hey, Kwon's not warming up. He's not on the putting green. He hasn't eaten breakfast. Someone might need to go check on him. So I don't know. It's Kwon. If you know Kwon, that there's no one else like Kwon. So he's his own character. He's his own person. And it surprised me a little bit, but also I could definitely see it happening, and it did.
Well, I definitely am not getting to any tee time 2.5 hours before these days. I'm definitely rolling up to the tee right at tip off with 2 kids at home, so I can somewhat relate to that. But the sleeping in thing, that's long gone. I would say at this stage in my career, but. Well, let's transition here a little bit into what I consider to be an incredible junior and amateur career. Just looking at your results and even just knowing your name, being a little bit older than you. What are you, 20?
28.
28. Yeah, I guess I'm five 5 years, almost 6 years older than you at this point. And I've always known your name, always seen you around, seen your scores forever. And just talk a little bit about your junior development, what type of player you were into amateur golf at Oklahoma. And what do you think shaped you at an early age to be a very successful junior and amateur player?
Yeah. So, I started playing golf when I was 11 months old. I started walking early, and my mom played golf at Oklahoma. My dad played football at Oklahoma, but he's, not anymore. He's probably about a 4 or 5 now, but he was a scratch golfer back in his heyday. And so very good genetics. My grandpa was a basketball player too, but he was also, I think, like a +3 or 4 handicap. So very good golf genetics. So I started playing when I was 11 months old, played my first tournament when I was 3. And then just always, I just had kind of the natural talent. I won, or I got top 5 in U.S. Kids World Championship from when I was 7 to 12. Finally won it when I was 12, and then won.
You're talking to somebody who also got top 5 at a young age at the U.S. Kids.
Yeah,
how about that, huh?
Yeah.
You and I. Who knew?
That was the best tournament ever growing up. It was
where did y'all play? Was it Pinehurst for you?
Pinehurst, yeah. So
I was at Jekyll Island, man. That's like OG.
Yeah. I never did Jekyll. I didn't do Jekyll Island. First year I did it was at Williamsburg, Virginia. And then when I was 7, and then that next year it went to Pinehurst. So, that week was always so much fun. As a 8-year-old, 9-year-old,
I still have memories.
2 or 3 events you play every year, and that was one of the big ones. And it was awesome. So, played well, obviously, just growing up. And then once I got to 11, 12, I hit a growth spurt, got to 5'8", 5'9" when I was 12. And I started just, hitting long ways.
Where'd you grow up?
So Oklahoma and Texas, a little bit of both.
Okay.
So I was born in Oklahoma, then moved down to Burkernett, Texas when I was 2, which is on the Red River. It's on the border of Oklahoma and Texas. And then lived there for 9 years, went down to Dallas, and back up to Oklahoma when I was 15. So
what junior tours are you playing growing up? Was it the Oklahoma Junior Tour and then maybe some stuff over in Texas?
So it was mainly the Legends Junior Tour in Texas.
Okay.
Growing up, so I played, Scottie, Will Zalatoris, a lot of those guys.
Are y'all all the same age? Are you 1 year older?
Both of those guys are 1 year older than me.
They're 1 year older than you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we travel. Especially me and Scottie, we played against each other the first time when I was 6. He was 7, and so we have known Scottie for forever, and we traveled together in AJGAs and all that. But so did Legends Junior events until I was 12, and then luckily, as AJGA was always, it's like the PGA Tour of junior golf, and
sure,
you want to get on that as quick as possible, and it was hard to, but luckily I was able to get the full status for AJGA when I was 12. Won the first won an invitational.
Dude, that's early. 12's early to get the full status.
I got kind of right away. It was a Texas A&M golf course, one of the Easter events. I got second, and that got me enough to basically get into all the events. And then I was the last person to get into the Thunderbird for my first invitational ever in Scottsdale, which for you watching, invitational for AJGA is the majors of the AJGA. You
get a new pair of shoes. You get, it's awesome. You get some unbelievable tee gifts. I remember the FootJoy at Wyndham always used to be such a good one.
Yeah, no, the invitationals were so much fun. And so the first invitational I played in was Thunderbird when I was 13, and actually won it.
Okay, so you were set up for junior golf. Now you're on everybody's radar from a coaching standpoint, recruiting. You're on the fast track.
Exactly. Well, to be fair, I did. So even before the Thunderbird, I did commit to OU. I committed to OU when I was 12.
Stop it, dude. Yeah. You're 12 years old. What grade is that? I don't even know what grade that is.
I think I was going into 7th grade.
Golly.
And
okay, so I assume we hit puberty at this point. You grew
right after. Yeah,
I got some guys who hadn't even some friends that I grew up with. I don't even know that it hit puberty at that point.
That's one of the lucky parts. Is I grew into my build pretty early, and I kind of learning how to hit it, further early with the kind of build I have. So.
I was about to say, when you were on football visits to Oklahoma at 12 years old and you're sitting there on the sideline, you got the coach right there next to you, and then up walks Ndamukong Suh, and you're like, okay, all right, I'm down to go to Oklahoma to look like that.
Exactly. It was, and then I committed that early because first off, there's nowhere else I wanted to go. I'm, sooner born, sooner bred. My parents went there, played sports there. My grandpa played sports there. Grandma was a cheerleader. Like, I just absolutely love OU and always have. So it didn't matter if they were ranked 150th or if they were ranked number one. Like, I wanted to go to OU. But then I got very lucky having Coach Hybl there. He joined the program.
Did he recruit you too?
He did, yeah. So
okay.
He became head coach from when I was 11, and that's when I started emailing him. I don't know why, but I started emailing him like, hey, Coach Hybl, saw that you're a new coach. I'm Brad Dalke. I'm 11 years old and 6th grade. Here are my accomplishments. Here's how I do in tournaments. And I'm sure he was just rolling his eyes looking at the email. But then him and the assistant coach came out and watched me in a few events. And they saw something special in me, I guess. And I was playing well, but they offered me, I went on an unofficial visit and went to the office, and they offered me a scholarship right then and there. And obviously
they could do all that because you're not in high school yet.
So
is that right?
Back then there was like no rules on how young you could. There's obviously rules on.
I think it's when you get to like high school, it was a period of time where they couldn't talk to you like 9th and 10th grade until like the middle of your 10th grade year. So there may have been time when you were committed to Oklahoma and then had like 2 years where you like technically couldn't talk to you. there
were rules on like them being able to talk to me, like text me, call me.
Yeah,
like,
remember that.
Initiate the call or something.
That's right.
I had to be like on a visit or on property or something like that.
Yep.
But now, once I committed, they actually changed a lot of rules to where you can't even visit or anything until you're like 16 now. So I think I changed the recruiting landscape a little bit with college golf, which is kind of, I guess that's kind of cool.
There you go. Hang the banner.
But yeah, Coach Hybl took a risk on me, and I was so lucky that he was a coach I committed to, and that's the program I committed to, because he ended up, in my opinion, being the best. He's the best college coach in the nation. He's obviously, he was a 4-time All-American at Georgia. He's such a good golfer himself. He knows so much about the game.
Yeah.
But he brings that kind of football mentality into golf a little bit. And he makes you grind your butt off. He makes us compete a lot. And I truly think I wouldn't be as good of a golfer now, if I didn't play for him for 4 years. So he was unbelievable. And it shows. The Oklahoma golf program now is, up in the top ranks every single year. And he's done a fantastic job there. But I was very lucky committing, to him and to that program. But and then junior golf, all the rest throughout, just kind of kept playing AJGAs. I was, played on 5 Wyndham Cups. I was, I think, 5.
Holy mackerel,
5 Wyndham Cups. Yeah, I actually broke Tiger's Wyndham Cup record for most points won in the Wyndham Cup. And so I was pretty proud of that. And then 5 times.
Hey, so on all these Wyndham Cup teams that you played on, would you have said that Scottie, Scheffler, or even just a player that comes to mind that you would have said, yep, that person is going to be really great in this game?
Yeah, I'd say, Scottie obviously was a fantastic player growing up, great junior golfer. Would I say that I expected this out of him? No. Not at all. I think, I knew that he'd be on the PGA Tour one day and, be out there playing, but I didn't think.
Was he always as competitive as he is now? Because that's what the sense of just this competitiveness and not wanting to lose and not taking a shot off. Yeah. Was he this way, like on the ping pong table in the Wyndham Cup rooms, where he just was ready to annihilate you with his eyes if he lost a point?
Yes, all the time. Especially ping pong matches. With golf and everything, but ping pong is like, he gets fired up. But there's a lot of ping pong games.
Throwing paddles left and right.
He's throwing paddles. He's diving for balls left and right. He's always, and that's one thing that I don't think, the fans know about him, just like in general golf fans, because and during the events, during the tournaments, he has such a good demeanor now that he just almost seems boring in a way, just because he for the most part acts very good out there and just kind of just keeps going on with his mission. Every once in a while, he'll
lose it every now and then. It's like, hey, you were due for that, buddy.
Exactly. But a lot of people don't realize, like, he used to have a terrible attitude in junior golf. like awful. Like he was.
That doesn't surprise me.
And yeah, and it used to be really, really bad, and it hindered him a lot. Like it would make him fall apart and play, very badly. Whenever he might start around pretty well and have one bad hole, and all of a sudden he falls apart. And I think that's the biggest key, because he's always had the talent, but I think him finding a way to handle his emotions a lot better and really just stay a lot more even keeled throughout the round, which I think Ted does a great job on helping with that too. But I think that's really what made him go from a really good player to making a Tiger-esque run at this point.
Well, another guy that had a great season, Rory McIlroy, he was also getting the opportunity to meet Brad Dalke at a young age. And this was at the Junior Invitational at Sage Valley, actually an event that unfortunately started a little bit after my time, because this event looked like the Masters of junior golf, played at Sage Valley, incredible golf course. And I remember seeing the video where Brad was there. I think maybe Rory came to the event. I don't know if it was something to do with Nike, I assume. Was that? Yeah. So it was something to do with Nike. And I remember seeing this viral video of this guy named Brad. And I'd seen your name before, but it was an arm wrestling contest. And so if you haven't seen it, make sure you head to Google, because Brad Dalke challenged Rory McIlroy, or was it the other way around? Who challenged who here?
I challenged him. Him. Yeah.
And did you feel pretty confident you were going to beat Rory in this?
I did. So, I mean, it all started, you're right. It was a Nike event. They sponsored the event. It was like every year they had a pro come in, more than Nike pro. So it was, Rory, I think, gosh, I'm blanking on who else came, but it was always a, big time Nike golfer. Rory came that year, and that was right when he was playing some fantastic golf. He had just signed with Nike pretty recently, and it was right when he was getting like jacked, like he was getting ripped. Because he was a little pudgy there for a while, and then he got one off season, and all of a sudden he was just ripped. And one of my buddies, Bennett Baker, I don't know if you know Bennett at all.
Yeah, where did he play?
Florida State.
Okay, I know the name.
I knew Bennett really well in junior golf, but I remember him specifically came up to me after the Q&A that Rory did. He said, "Dude, I dare you to challenge him to an arm wrestling match." And like for me, like I have a good genetics. I've always had like bigger arms. Like I just have.
Dad's a football player, man.
Linebacker, like I just kind of have the linebacker genetics, and so I think that's kind of why he told me to do that. But he said, "Hey, I dare you to go challenge him to an arm wrestling match," and I was like, "Okay, like sure, I'll go try." But there's no way he says yes. I mean, this guy's making millions of dollars. He just signed a big Nike deal. Like there's no chance he risks, tearing his shoulder or his elbow or something, doing an arm wrestling match against a junior golfer. And surprisingly, he said yes. Don't know why or don't know how, but he said, yeah, let's do it. And we went to the table. We had like 60 people surrounding us watching this arm wrestling match. And I took him down. I think he went a little easy on me. I will say this. I probably wouldn't have said it at right after the fact, but now as an older 28-year-old man, I will probably say that he probably let me have it a little bit. I think he didn't want to injure himself, but no, it's a cool memory to have, and it'll pop up on social media every once in a while, and it's pretty cool thing to think about.
Yeah, little does Rory know that at the time he's arm wrestling a finalist of the USAM, a national champion at Oklahoma, but more importantly, a Creator Classic winner and an Internet Invitational winner. So little did he know he was going up against some dang talent right here.
I mean, I guess so. And then even the Masters that I played in, I think he got passed in the media room.
I think I remember that.
They're like, Brad Dalke's playing in this Masters this year, right? He's like, yeah, I know he's playing. And they're like, you think we'll see another arm wrestling match? And he's like, never again. So I'm 1-0. I'll take that undefeated record.
Hey, let me ask you this, because this is a question for only someone like you could answer, which is somebody that had a ton of success at a really early age. And you won at every single step at junior golf, amateur golf, being a national champion in Oklahoma. Did that have an added pressure for you at all when you got to the professional game to continue on that path of being on the PGA Tour? Because I would imagine at a fairly early age, I mean, you're committing to Oklahoma at 12, that people are telling you, it's like, can't wait to see you on the PGA Tour one day, whether that's friends or family, or just even that inner belief that you have walking around junior golf and showing up to Oklahoma with the dream of one day playing on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I definitely think it had something to do with it, because I mean, if you don't know my story, people watching, it's like my pro career was not good at all. I've been saying recently, like when I was doing pro golf for 3 years, I was probably like at a scratch to 2 handicap if I kept a handicap back then. I did, but because my golf game was just in shambles. I had right before I got to college, I started developing driver problems, which I had never dealt with before in junior golf. Like I just always struck the ball really well, especially off the tee and long irons, just ball striking in general. And then right before college golf, I started having driver issues, which I, like I said, has never dealt with it before, didn't know how to deal with it. And throughout college, it was very up and down. Like there were months.
You managed it.
Yeah, I could manage it. Like I still could hit 3-wood all the time. I hit irons really well still. But with the driver, it was off and on. Some months, 3 months at a time, I would hit the driver really well. Like the US Amateur, I got runner up at. That was a week where I hit the driver extremely well. I was swinging as hard as I wanted at it, and it was going straight. And then there would be months at a time where I couldn't keep a driver on the property. Like it would go 120 yards right, 120 yards left.
So you had a two-way miss.
Two-way miss. Oh yeah. It was all timing dependent, very just, and obviously you get under the gun. It was one of those where I get on the range, I could go stripe it all day, but you get under the gun a little bit, timing dependent. It was all over the place. So
what was the technical piece you think that was kind of led you down that road?
So I finally figured it out about 2.5 years ago. Because
hold on, let me get a notepad because I need to figure it out too.
But like after college, I tried so hard. I was like, I had to figure out the driver if I want to play pro golf. I had to figure out a way to be able to hit this driver straight. And me trying to fix it and going to different people and all that made the driver worse and made everything else worse, like with irons and everything. So I was going to mini tour events hitting 2 fairways around and 4 greens around on very courses. And finally, a couple years ago, I figured out technical wise, especially with the driver, for me, my head moves off the ball at takeaway. So I have to make sure I keep the head kind of over the ball. It almost feels like it's going ahead of it, but that's huge. Just being able to keep my head more still and then keep it a little taller as well throughout the backswing.
So more rotational almost.
Yeah, so very much like
because you get off. You can get rotational, but you got a long way to get back to the ball.
The head's just all over the place. So when I'm hitting it bad, it's the head's going here, going back, and then going down. So it's basically trying to keep it centered and tall. And then the other big piece is keeping my arms, keeping a lot of width in my arms throughout the backswing. So if you watch my swing at all, I set up with the driver head or really every club head on the ball's on the heel of the club. And that's me basically keeping my arms. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's me keeping my arms extended at setup. That way I can just kind of feel like they stay extended throughout the backswing.
Yeah. How long do you keep them straight or extended? When do you finally feel like you kind of bend your right elbow?
Feeling wise, I feel like my right arm is locked the entire backswing.
What? That's
like
awesome.
I try to like literally feel like it's like that at the top.
Did it used to feel different? Did your right arm, did it used to fold more during that time too?
Like that's so along with the head, but
so you think Steve Stricker basically? You're just thinking like
that's what it feels like. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Because whenever when I was sitting in bad, my arms would get up here and just kind of fold a little more.
You got you got this extra. You can't get rid of it.
Oh yeah, and then I have very fast hips at transition. So if I'm narrow and then I get my hips firing, then I'm just stuck all day, and that ball can go anywhere.
I got that shot, bro. I got that shot.
You understand then that ball can go anywhere.
Oh man.
You're narrow and stuck with some fast hips.
We call that the old hi-ya.
Yes, that was the shot. That was my bugaboo. That was the one that gave me nightmares. And but luckily, I figured out the 2 to 3 things. The head movement, keeping the width on the backswing, and then I grinded on that for a while. And then luckily, it's kind of right at the end of I was starting to run out of finances for pro golf. As you know, if you're not on the PGA Tour, it's pro golf it just drains money. I was running out of finances, and I knew it was probably close to the time where I was going to start looking for a college coaching job or something. But I felt like I was finally on the up and up. Finally figured out some things, and then luckily, good came to Oklahoma to my home course. I didn't know they were coming. They asked me to be in a video just out of nowhere, and really
that's where it started.
A relationship. It was wild. I was just going out there to practice. I was on the putting green, and then Garrett Clark just asked me if I wanted to be in this video. He didn't even know who I was. He just saw me on the putting green, asked if I wanted to play. And
that's a God thing right there, bro.
Oh, 100%.
I mean,
well, it's I'll tell you more about that. The getting was good is crazy. I never watched YouTube golf when I was doing pro golf, and as you know, it's like if you go practice 7 hours a day, 6 to 7 hours a day, it's like you don't go home and want to watch more golf. Like you want to just get away from golf as much as possible. So I knew what good was because I'd seen clips on social media like Matt Shark's hole in one, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I never watched any videos, and then literally about a month before I met them, I started watching their videos. Like it was wild. It was about a month before I started watching their videos, and I was like, man, this is actually fun to watch. It's like, it's not, pro golf at all. It's just different. Like, these guys have fun personalities, are fun to see just mesh together. And then a month later, they show up to my course, and I'm playing with them, which I think.
Did that make you nervous playing, by the way? Because like you're just coming off of what I would imagine to be just immense pressure that you have internally. Anytime you step on a tee, all of a sudden you are playing under the lights of YouTube golf with nobody around but some camera guys. But you probably know what that pressure feels like to play in front of the cameras. But what did it? How did you play that day?
Different. I mean, it's different. It's so much different feeling than like playing in front of broadcast cameras. I don't know how to explain it really. It's just, I think it's the fact that that this video you're filming is going to get 1 million views. Like there's something about that's like, there's a lot of people going to be watching me hit this shot. And I was definitely nervous. That first tee shot in that first good video, it was very nerve wracking. And we've had guests on the channel and they say the same thing. It's like, that's very nervous whenever you first kind of play in front of a YouTube camera.
I got my own problems. The extra people watching it, they're just joining what I already got going on in my head, which is enough voices.
Love it. But no, it was fun though, and I had a blast doing it, and also going to the fact I was just as a God thing. Like, so I started watching them a month before, which helped me know them better. Like, which I think probably helped me a lot. Just I knew their names. I knew like Bubby aimed 100 yards right on every shot. Like I knew some of these things about them that I wouldn't have known before.
That probably helped you on that day.
Exactly. Yeah. And then also going to the course is Oak Tree National. That's where I was playing at and practicing at the time. There's a subway about a mile from the course, and the whole time, and you have to drive past the entrance to go to the subway. And the whole time going to the course, I just had a mindset like, all right, I'm gonna go to Subway, get a little sandwich real quick, then I'm gonna go, practice this afternoon. For some reason, right before I got to the entrance, I just kind of told myself, screw it, I'm just gonna go eat lunch at the course. And that's just another little thing that if I had gone to Subway, then by the time I got back to the course, I'd have been on like hole number 2, and I never would have met them. And so there's a lot of little things that look back on it now, I'm like, that was 100%. God has a hand on my shoulder, just leading me to, meet those guys and really change my life in this direction. And it's just so cool to think about. And, back to the swing issues, it's like being in YouTube golf was the perfect place for me to gain my confidence back. Because I finally figured out the few things that were going on in my swing. I finally figured out the fixes instead of just a bunch of band-aids. I finally figured out the 2 or 3 things that are like the main staples and what makes my swing good and what I need to work on to make it good. And but then YouTube golf, playing in front of the camera, it's like the perfect storm of there's enough pressure with the camera on you that it will expose you if you're not playing well. But also I'm not having to pay $1,500 to go play in a mini tour event.
Right.
So it's like I get constant reps with a little bit of pressure. It's almost like I'm going to the range every day.
Yeah.
But now getting almost like kind of tournament like pressure on the range. So, and it's obviously not quite tournament pressure, but it's something at least. And it was just a perfect place for me to just keep working on my things, keep building confidence. And over, I guess the first year of YouTube, like I finally got to a point where I'm like, I now feel like I can go drive, 325, 330 yard drives down the middle all day. And it's been,
when did you get added to the group in all this? Like you play the round and then they're like, dude, we can't do this without you. Or how long did it take to get a text or call back? Did it take a little flirting or a little bit after, you're like, hey man, we had fun last night, right? Like, how long did it take?
So it didn't take long. So actually, I was I've heard this before, but I was so good as a podcast as well, and I was on there with Garrett a couple days ago, and he kind of said the whole story again because we were talking about meeting them and all that, and he said after the first green that I played with him, like walking off that first green, he told Colin, who's one of the main editors of Good, he told him like, this Brad guy has it, like he understands this, like he's a good player, and he has like just one hole in, he knew that I had the on-camera presence. I knew how to talk to the camera, talk to the crowd, interact with the guys. And so luckily they kind of saw something in me right off the bat, but I still had some pro golf left in me. I still wanted to give it a couple more shots on, like PGA Tour Canada Q School was like a month later. And there's a couple more opportunities. Once I didn't get through Q School, Canada Q School, and once I played a couple mini tour events, I finally was like, look, and I also went on one more trip with them in Missouri, and I was like, this is so much more fun than grinding out mini tour events.
Dude, nobody knows anything about mini tour events unless you've experienced it. They don't know how much it costs. They don't know where you stay, rooming with a buddy or two every single week, the crap golf courses that you play in the middle of nowhere. It's never convenient. Yeah. It's never tied to to a Monday qualifier. It's always just so difficult on the pro. And I wanted to ask you this, Brad, because I'm curious how it was when you were playing, but how much money did you think that you needed for just one full year to finance professional golf? When I was going through it, it felt like something around 75,000 was a good starting point to be able to, everything that you needed, from paying the practice round fee to getting range balls to flights and all of that. What do you think it was for you, and what would you recommend for a player?
The number I always thought about was, if a number to be able to go and play whatever I wanted, there's no, limits, obviously still being smart about food and all that. But where I can go play anywhere I wanted, go have any opportunity I needed, was about 120 grand.
Yeah.
Obviously,
So I'm short. I was 50 short on you.
Yeah. But I think that's still on the high end, just because, that is being able to do whatever you need, and there's obviously a lot of people who might only have 80 to 90 grand, that type of budget, to where, they can go play a ton of events and then go do all that, but they might have to, shack it up in a van, for a tournament or something. Like they might need to maybe not get a hotel here or something like that. But I think 120 grand is like a safe bet to be able to, actually stay in a hotel, actually be able to go to all these events every single week if you need to. But I think you can do it in that, 70 to 80 grand. You just have to be a lot tighter with your money.
From an ego standpoint, going from being just a standout junior golfer, amateur player, national champion, to a professional golfer who's still finding their way, not knowing if this is what you're going to do forever, you end up having this day out there with good, where it seems like it goes well, and all of a sudden it seems like you're going to be a part of the group. From your ego standpoint, was it tough to kind of put the professional golfer aside and join what was at the time, YouTube golf? Good seemed to be the biggest platform, but you didn't have a space like it is now, where it's I don't know if oversaturated is the right word, but it's such a big community, where at that time it was probably much smaller. And telling people, it's like, actually I'm going to go to YouTube golf, they probably looked at you with two heads, so what was that like?
Yeah, it was definitely there was definitely some had to put the ego aside on some things, just because Oak Tree National is, where a lot of players play, Goddard, Quade Cummins, Logan McAllister, Max McGreevy.
It's like Bob, Kevin Tway.
Kevin Tway. Right? Hayden Wood was there. There's just
Willie.
A lot, Willie. There's a lot of pro golfers there. And luckily playing there, while I was doing pro, like I had a lot of cool money games and got a lot of, practiced with a lot of good guys. But also, whenever I started going the YouTube route, that's a lot of pro golfers I had to play with. And there was I got a lot of heat for it at first, just because YouTube golf was very, I think especially back then, it was seen as kind of just a joke.
Yeah, before COVID, it was like COVID is when it started to take off, correct?
Exactly. And even then, because I joined up with them in very early 2023. And even then, I feel like it was still seen as kind of a joke. I mean, because now, I mean, I think in the last couple of years has been a huge shift in how it's seen. With good getting the PGA Tour event, and just a lot of things have happened in the last year and a half, where I think people are starting to respect YouTube golf and kind of what it brings media wise to the game. But even when I joined, it was kind of seen as a joke. I got some heat from some of the pro golfers I was playing with, and deservedly so. Like it was very unknown to everybody, and even to me. Like I didn't know what I was doing going into it. I just knew that when I went on the few trips with them, this first couple trips I went on, I had a blast, and it kind of brought, for me, what I needed most was to kind of bring like the childlike perspective into golf again. Like going to play scrambles, going to play T-flip games, going to play worst ball, going to play with pots and pans sometimes. Like, it sounds so like
the joy that you lost during the mini tour stage all has come back. Result. All of a sudden result is like, all right, I lost today. All right, where are we going next?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it literally felt like I was a kid playing golf again, and it brought because there was a long time there I hated golf. I absolutely hated golf. During pro golf, when I was playing that bad, missing that many cuts, losing a lot of money, you grow to despise the game because of what you feel like it's doing to you. And I needed that kind of YouTube mentality to really bring the love back to it. And now, I love golf again. And obviously I'm playing a lot better. That helps. It makes things easier on loving golf. But I also think it goes hand in hand. Like the more you can enjoy the game, the more you can just love going out there and playing, the better you're going to end up playing. So I think it goes hand in hand, and it's YouTube golf. Again, it's not a route many people have taken, especially when they were a pro before. But for me, I got so lucky because it's just the exact thing I needed, and it's helped me just turn into a much better golfer.
And many folks will watch YouTube golf videos and they see, whether it's 45 minutes or an hour, and they watch it and they say, wow, that was a great watch. The commercials, if you have the premium stuff, and it's an easy watch. But I also wonder how difficult it might be behind the scenes, because it's easy for somebody to turn on and watch it. But, you're coming from being a CEO of your own business in professional golf. I'm sure there's so much behind the scene when it comes to the collaboration, the production, and really an entire brand involved. So now you have Good, which is taken off. It's unbelievable what this company has done over time with a CEO. I mean, all the things from where it started to where it is now. What do we not see for what ends up coming up on YouTube, which can be a short video, long video, whatever it is, all the things behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the editing process is the biggest thing, because I mean, luckily it was good. We have Colin Ross and Max Putnam, who are the two main editors, and they do all the videographer or video stuff while we're on the trips as well. And they are the biggest keys, because we could go out there and play an unreal video, a great match. It was fun, all this good stuff. But if it's edited poorly and it looks like a crappy video, not many people are going to watch it. Like, they genuinely make those videos look like movies. And if you're watching and if you need, like, if you've never seen Good, go look up the Good road trip that we did this last summer. Some of the best edited videos you'll ever see on YouTube. Like, they legit feel like you're watching a movie. So those, I mean,
that's changed, Brad, from like the beginning of YouTube golf. I remember the videos in the beginning. It just seemed like everything was like with the cell phone, like now it's the production quality from like the Internet Invitational to this road trip that you're talking about. It's serious.
Yeah. Which that, for me, luckily, I don't have to worry about any of that. Even for my I have a personal channel as well that's doing really well right now, and it's
go like and subscribe, you guys. I got this. I got you.
Mine as well. Yeah, thank you. But I have my own editor for that. Like, I do not know how to edit worth a crap. I don't know anything about it, but luckily, I can hit a golf ball good here and there, and that's luckily with Good. That's my job. I go, have fun on the course, go play. Go do our brand deal stuff that we need to get done. And, but the important stuff, the editing, making the videos look really good. And that's all credit to the editors that we have at Good.
How often now are you asked by, whether it's a junior golfer, a mini tour player, college golfer, somebody that hates their desk job, where they're like, dude, I want to do what you're doing. How do I do it? How often is that asked to you?
A lot.
Like DMs are just off the charts from people that are trying to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, a lot of DMs. Even today, we filmed today here in Dallas, and then I came home. Me and my wife went to go get dinner, and I wanted to go get a couple swings in. So there's a range right next to our house, pretty much. And I went there with her for like 10 minutes to hit some balls. And as I'm hitting, this kid comes up. He's probably 14. Comes over. He's like, "Hey, Brad, I'm starting a YouTube channel. I started one it was like 3 months ago. And, do you have any tips and advice to like really get it going?" So you'd be surprised by how many people are wanting to do YouTube. I mean, it really is. It's because I'm so lucky to be able to do it because I get to play golf, play the game I love with so much less stress and just post on YouTube. And it's, you make money off of it. And obviously I'm very blessed having this job. I'm very grateful that I have this job. And, with it being such an enticing thing, there's obviously going to be a lot of people that want to do the same. And I was lucky, obviously, getting with Good and getting with the kings of YouTube early on. And it helps a lot, being with them. But it's, there's a lot of people that are wanting to do the same thing.
Can you help us build a perfect YouTube golfer? So taking in all of the personalities, all of the players that are currently creating content, and I want you to help us create the perfect one. So whether it's humor, storytelling, golf, and trick shots, whatever it is, can you help us find us a perfect creative player?
So I'll start off with the good guys. I got to throw them in there. I would say trick shots, Garrett Clark. He's the king of trick shots. That's how he got started.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer trick shotter, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's how he started. He started posting trick shots on YouTube. He had a backyard in his childhood home in Kansas City.
I've seen the stones, man. They're just
up, and he would hit the slab up in the air and dunk like 30 yards away. So he's the OG, the king of trick shots on YouTube. Then we'll go Matt Scharf is let's call it charisma.
Okay.
It can be mistaken as loud and all that. And he can be loud at times, but he is, whenever we have a guest on, like he's the one who brings the lights and really makes them, feel really comfortable. And then we'll go, Bob has to be in there somewhere. I'd say just humor, Bob.
His storytelling is in that category too.
Yeah,
so
and I'd say storytelling as well. We were talking about earlier, he's the funniest guy I know. He is so much fun to be around. And let's see. I'd say we'll go back into kind of the golf game now.
Yeah, purest golf swing.
Purest golf swing, I would give.
It's got to be George, right?
I honestly, I'd give it to Kwon.
Okay.
I love Kwon swing. It's like the most just butter fade swing all day, every day golf swing.
Grant's is easy to watch too. It just kind of looks like he just swings it so casually. That's an easy one to watch.
And then I'd say I will give myself driving, which again, surprising. Sure. 3 years ago, I would not be thinking I'd be saying that right now. But I'd give myself the driver. Iron game, I'll give to Sean Walsh, who's with Good as well. I don't know. Do you know Sean at all? Have you? I've
never met Sean. I've seen him pop up on videos, but yeah, I think he hit some good shots at the Creator Classic when I was watching.
Yeah, so Sean, I'll give iron game. Wedges and like short game, I'll give to Garrett. Garrett has a filthy short game, so Garrett's on here twice actually. I
was going to give chipping to Wesley. Was where I was going.
Oh yeah. I will, since I already put Garrett up there, I will put Wesley at chipping and short game. Yeah, I don't know why I was blanking on that. Then putting will go.
He's absolutely waxed me in 21. That's why it popped up in my head.
Wesley is dangerous with his wedges. And then putting, I'll go Peter Finch was putter. He's from the UK, really good golfer.
One of my buddies who watches YouTube golf was just saying how Peter was somebody who was a channel that he didn't follow, and leaving the Internet Invitation was like, I'll watch his stuff because his humor was very dry and it seemed like he was a player that was very skillful.
He just made the cut in the I don't know what tour it was.
I didn't know he's tries to play a little bit. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's a pro golfer, and he's done open qualifying, and he tries to play as much as he can. But he's a very good golfer, so I'll get him playing.
He had a great line. I can't remember if it was after one of your chips or putts or drives, and like Francis says, like I want to, Brad, and Peter's like, well, get in line, pal, or something like that. And I was like, that was great.
Yeah, no, Peter's awesome. We actually, before the Internet Invitational, we spent a week with him in Arkansas on a good week. And
Okay.
I'd known before that, but that was the first time I'd really spent a lot of time with him. And he genuinely is one of the nicest guys you'll meet. He's hilarious, the best dry humor you can find. And no, Peter's one of my favorites. So
I would subscribe to that guy's channel, the person that you just created. I think that would be a pretty epic YouTube golfer. I think you did a pretty good job there.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I did my best. I'm sure I probably forgot about somebody, but it's off the top of the head. I'll take that.
Yeah, a couple quick ones on the way out here, Brad. I'm interested in Good's involvement in Big Break. I think the nostalgia that so many of us feel with Big Break and how long it's been gone too. I've been telling people for a while, I was like, this Big Break needs to come back, especially in a day and age where people love watching golf and unique content, and to see you guys being involved with the Golf Channel is awesome. So tell me about how this all came about, and is there a chance that we might see you compete in this? Because it seems like a perfect opportunity for what may be on the line, which I'm honestly don't even know. It used to be, I guess it was like Corn Ferry Tour starts back in the day. Will there be a PGA Tour event at the end of the tunnel here with y'all hosting a event in Austin?
Yeah. So actually, so me and Sean will be playing. So me and Sean,
let's go.
And then the field. So yeah, we're pumped for that. And
is the field has it been picked yet? Like, has that been selected at all?
It is not, and I don't know if Golf Channel's doing that. I don't know if Good's doing that. Okay. I have no say in it. I'm assuming Golf Channel is the one kind of doing the casting and all that. But so me and Sean will be playing, and the winner will be. I'm pretty sure there'll be a cash prize, and also for sure there will be a spot in the Good Championship PGA Tour event in the fall.
Okay.
So there's a lot on the line, and I'm pumped for it, and hopefully, I think my game fits the Big Break, mold pretty well. I feel like I'm, a creative player and got good hands and all that. So I think when it comes to like the flop wall and the glass breaking, I feel like that's kind of my, I feel like I'm going to be pretty good at it. I hope I don't eat my words here in a few months, but we're pumped. I mean, it's been in the talks really since I've been hearing murmurs of it since like the beginning of the year. And I didn't know what, I didn't know much about it. I wasn't in the decision making. That's all, Matt Kendrick, the CEO of Good, and some of the higher ups, that's them getting all that done. And they've done a great job with, just building relationships with the PGA Tour, and, keeping those relationships going. And also with NBC, and just, they've done a great job building relationships and really just making this thing come to fruition. And
y'all host your own, whether it be content creation that happens, golf tournaments with good branding. We've seen that plenty of times on Golf Channel, especially Phoenix Week.
Yeah, no, the live events we do, and we've done it in Phoenix at Grass Clippings. We've done Austin, we've done Chicago, French Lick in Indiana. So those are all have been NBC, Peacock, and the higher ups on Good have done such a good job of helping build this company out and really just expanding it and trying to get it bigger in the just in the bigger brand and the just general golf landscape. And so I heard rumors about it early in the year and didn't really know much. Didn't know if it was actually going to happen or what. But then finally, a few months ago, it was like a done deal, and we obviously had to keep our mouth shut for a little while to until we announced it. But super pumped for it. And like you said, I grew up watching Big Break all the time as a kid. I think that was like, in a way, the original YouTube content. Like I think the people love YouTube is because of the personability factor of it. They feel like they get to know me. They feel like they get to know Garrett, Sean, all these guys through the screen. And I think that's kind of why Big Break was so good. It's like you got to know these people's stories, what they've, their failures, their successes in the past with golf, their personal lives, and you find people you want to root for, and then there's a villain coming out of the always a villain coming out, and it's like the storylines, really honestly, like the storylines that made Internet Invitational so great. And it's like that's what made Big Break so awesome. So I think I'm excited that Good has a hand in it, and we're gonna have me and Sean playing, and the other guys are all going to be emceeing, and they're going to be like captains somehow. I don't know exactly how it's going to work.
Okay, so that's the co-branding mingling. There is the other guys are going to be involved with the product. Okay.
Yep. So I don't know, how much say we have and like what challenges happens and all that, but it's going to be awesome to see Goody gets hands all over it and just see what we can do. And I'm absolutely pumped to be able to bring the big break back.
If that was the birth, I can tell you we took it after that. Spring break 2016. I would say that was the next stepping stone in golf on I guess that was Snapchat for us with JT, Jordan, Ricky, and I. And we walked so you guys could run. Let's put it that way.
Well, I appreciate you, fellas. I do.
Who knew? We should have had more cameras out there, and we should have made a channel. And who knows?
That group would have gotten that. Y'all could have been
we could have got some subs and some views for sure.
100%.
But unfortunately, we would have had to cut way too much of the content.
I can see that. That's fine. Hey, that's what the edit button's for.
Oh man! All right, buddy. Well, this has been great. I guess we've been here about an hour. This has just been an incredible conversation. Of course, make sure you go find Brad on his channels. Brad, what's the best way to find you on all your platforms? Is it just at Brad Dalke?
Yeah, so the most part, you can just look up Brad Dalke, Dalke is the last name, and then obviously good for YouTube, and then I have my own YouTube, Brad Dalke Golf. So go follow, subscribe, like, all the good stuff. And I appreciate you having me on, Smylie. Seriously.
It was fun, man. I mean, it's always fun to talk to somebody who's found their way in the game of golf, that's had experienced the highs, the lows. So I've been really excited about this conversation. And who knew we just needed an Internet Invitational to make it happen. We got the salmon jacket. So if you're watching on YouTube, that was a nice touch at the end of this. So looking forward to the steak and potatoes next year at the Internet Invitational. And Brad, I don't think my game's quite ready yet to do any 1v1s, but I'm gonna keep working at it, pal.
You let me know when, and I'm happy to be host to you, and we will have a great match.
All right, let's just make sure there's no OB. I'm in.
That's fine. Fine by me.
All right, Brad. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Smylie.
I listen to this podcast. It's really cool. And
all of our lovely fans and subscribers, but make sure you like and subscribe.
It's cool to see what you guys are doing. I know golf fans appreciate it, but we do too. So please keep it up.
For all the good people at YouTube, like and subscribe.
You guys have some good takes, so I'm happy to come on and shoot the